Hey guys, Colbert here. Welcome back to another Racial Legends video, guys. Today is a great day because we have the announcement finally of the Duplicate Champions solution. It's not 100% announced yet because some of the details will be released much later on. I guess we'll be provided them beforehand so we can make a video. This we were not provided, so I'll be reacting to this for the second time really because I already watched it once, but it's good for me to rewatch it to better understand what kind of solutions they bring, because this is not a one solution, it's a triple solution in a sense that they provide 3 ways of using your duplicate champions within Raid. And yeah, let's just go and watch the video and I'll explain my thoughts throughout it.
Multifaceted issue, we analyzed a variety of situations and identified a few key issues that different groups of players face. And because there were a few different situations and issues, we had to come up with a few different solutions. Something that applies more to newcomers looking to progress quickly, something that may be more useful for mid-game players looking to make the step up, and something that will be more beneficial to end-game players with pretty bloated champion collections. We wanted to make sure there was a solution that everyone could potentially benefit from, no matter where they are in-game. Alright, enough talk, let's get into it. You all know the sparring pit in your Bastion, where champions bash each other on the head to gain experience. Well, it's getting an upgrade. The new Guardian Ring will still have all the functionality of the sparring pit inside, but it will also have a bunch of new mechanics.
So here is what I was talking about, okay? We're gonna have different ways of having a duplicate system. We're gonna still have the sparring pit, but the rest of the parts of the sparring pit, once you click on it, well, it's going to be called Guardian Ring from now on. We're going to have the possibility of upgrading our champions, being rares, epics, and legendaries, depending on the duplicates. But let's just go and watch exactly what Tyrion says.
Champion Empowerment and Champion Unbinding. You won't know what those are yet, but don't worry, I'll take you through them all. Let's start with the feature the ring is named after, Faction Guardians. The Faction Guardians tab will let you assign duplicate champions of different rarities to become Faction Guardians. This means they'll boost the stats of all champions of the same rarity in that faction. When you first visit the tab, you'll see a list of all factions. Tapping on any of the banners will bring up a new tab with the duplicate slots available.
Right, so this is very specific, guys, on how the duplicate system will be working, okay? Just to let you guys understand, the way that this will work is you have a dupe Frozen Banshee. You can use her in the rare rarity here on the bottom, and it will only affect the HP percent, attack percent, accuracy, resistance, defense, and speed of rare champions, okay? If you have those dupes. It's not specified yet if you need to have them at max level, but I'm guessing, so this one's level 1, not ascended, and it still works, so you can have them unleveled in the vault and this is still gonna work, which is great because I wouldn't want to have to level up all of them to level 60 for these stats to be acquired. But it's gonna be a great boost to you if you're still having issues with faction wars, so you're gonna get a nice boost to all your champions in that specific faction and in that specific rarity, depending on the dupes that you have. If you've already fed some of the dupes, usually we feed the epics and rares because we didn't know this would have come for epics and rares. So probably the majority of us, more seasoned veteran players, don't have so many dupes of epics and rares. But in terms of legendaries, it's what you have as a dupe that's gonna be used, and you really need 10 in order to get the speed boost. The way that this works is that you unlock section by section, and unless you have 10 legendaries, 10 dupes that you want to have in this section right here, then you won't be able to get the boost. But I'm thinking it's 5 dupes now that I'm thinking of it again. So let's say I have my level 60 plus 1 more, I unlock the first one. So I think that's how it really works, which is good because it means I only need, wait, I only need 5, or it's probably a bit less, depending, 5 different ones. But if you have the same one, so this guy has 3 Saitos, so he can only unlock partially the second one, which isn't giving him now the buff. So
each slot
that's okay
gives
so
a stat
far.
bonus to all champions of that faction and of that specific rarity. It's a bit similar to Great Hall bonuses, but faction specific instead of affinity specific. Slots are unlocked in order, so after you get your bonus to HP, you'll unlock the slots that can get you bonus stack, which will unlock the slots for defense, and so on. For example, let's say we have 2 Raglins. You'll be able to put them both into the first legendary Bannerlord slot and unlock a 10% HP boost for all legendary Bannerlords you own, including your Raglins, both of which you can still use. If you also had a pair of Barons, you can put them in the second slot that was just unlocked to get an attack boost, and so on. As I mentioned, champions you make into Faction Guardians can still be used in battles. As long as you don't get rid of either champions, you'll get the bonus. And Faction Guardians aren't only available for legendaries. Epic and rare champions can also become Faction Guardians. Since you don't lose your champions when you assign them to be Guardians, you can still use them. For new players, this means you can boost the stats of your rare and epic champions and bring them more in line with the strength of standard legendary champions that you're having to fight against. If you don't have many legendaries yet, this can be a big help in closing the gap and winning some harder fights in the arena or the dungeons. For mid-game players,
So this solution does seem to be more to also help the early players, but to be honest, it also helps mid-game and late-game players depending on how many legendaries you have. The legendary portion is what's going to be big, and the difference between let's say the undead hordes, which was very specific. I think they showed it to us because of the number of Sifis. Let's say somebody has many dupes of undead hordes legendaries, then he'll get the +10 speed boost to his Sifi, and that will give him the advantage for arena. For newer accounts, this will be more of an issue in terms of legendaries because, well, newer accounts don't have many dupes, and even if they have 1 dupe, it just means that they'll get the first bonus out of the legendary tab. I like this as a way of boosting your factions, but we'll see the rest of the upgrades, which are still not clear. But I do like how they went with it, at least for the first part of the duplicate
this flexibility will help you conquer the arena or beat some of the raid's tougher challenges, like some of the trickier secret rooms in the Doom Tower. And as your collection grows, you'll be able to benefit from some pretty sweet stat boosts if you manage to summon a couple of duplicate legendaries. For endgame players, this means you can have your cake and eat it too. You can get the stats boost from assigning some legendary faction guardians and keep your duplicate champion available in case you want to build a second of a certain champions, with a different artifact setup for a completely different role. And for everyone, no matter where you are in the game, bonus stats mean that all of you can be a bit bolder when experimenting with artifact setups. Okay, let's move on to our second option, champion empowerment.
Although what she said in the end made sense, I guess, in the script, it's not going to be that much of a huge boost if you look at it clearly, okay? So getting a 7 accuracy, 7 resistance for rares is nothing too much. But for legendaries, this is a big boost. But that will mean that you have 6 copies of a champion, or you have 3 copies of a champion and 3 unique champions. So the legendary and maybe the epics is where the real difference comes into play in terms of stat, especially the accuracy and resistance. I would have liked if this was 20 and this was 10. Then we're talking about more proper boost. Maybe speed here could have been 15, 10 and +5 here for the rares. But overall, the stat upgrades that you get, again, really depend on how unlucky you get. And I'm not sure if players will still be summoning so they can get these specific bonuses, so they intentionally get dupe legendaries. I don't think we'll see that, at least from mid-game players. Maybe the end-game players who are, you know, looking for that final 1 copy. Maybe then we'll see this. Like for me personally, I'm 100% sure that I don't have enough dupes in order to complete the upper tab right here. But I might check on it and make another video on it and see where we stand.
Okay, let's move on to our second.
Oh, by the way, we have a 10x for Trunda tomorrow, so I don't know if it's a coincidence, so they make you summon more Trundas so you can put them in there in the dupe tab and actually have them empower your main Trunda
Option, champion empowerment. The principle
They
is
did it
pretty
intentionally,
simple.
right?
You select a legendary
Get more
champion
Trundas.
and feed them their duplicates to permanently empower them and give them a stat boost. You can do this up to 4 times. But keep in mind that you'll permanently lose the champions you used to empower another, so think twice before you do it.
So this part is where they don't give us any info on what kind of boost to the stats of the champion it gives. So you intentionally sacrifice your dupe legendary. You cannot use it anymore. It's gone, disappears from your account, but your main champion gets a +1. Okay, let's say it's your Trunda. I'm guessing. Let's just give a guess. What does that +1 give? Will it give a +10% to Trunda's base stats? Who knows? But somebody that has 5 Trundas is going to have a good time in terms of boosting his main Trunda's power. Does that mean that he'll have to decide, okay, do I empower the whole faction or do I empower that single Trunda? The whole faction will still give him like the 10% plus a 10% defense. The accuracy that you get basically hurts Trunda if you think about it, but you do get resistance for your all your other champions. And I don't see how you can selectively boost your faction's power in the previous section that we saw. For this one, we don't know yet the details.
Like we said, we limited it. So while they can get a nice boost, you can't make them into unbeatable monsters. We want to make sure it won't throw game balance off. We also realize there are a few champions you can't ever get duplicates of. Lydia the Death Siren, Gumlock Skyhide, Ura's Soul Cage, and a few others. So that these powerful champions aren't left out of this feature, we've assigned other champions from their faction to act as their surrogate duplicates as far as empowering is concerned. For example, you'll be able to use Vizix to empower Lydia. Anyway, the entire list will be available in the game once the Guardian Ring goes live. Finally, we have the Champion Unbinding feature that is also exclusive to legendary champions. In this tab, you'll be able to permanently release your legendary dupes to get a special resource called life tokens. You'll lose those dupes forever, but you get a life token for giving them their life back. There's nothing fancy about the process itself. You choose a champion, triple-check them to make sure you don't need them, then release them from your service to get a life token. From there, you go to the Token Trader tab and behold several shiny legendary champions that you can.
Right, so the final part of this duplicate system that's coming, guys, is basically a sacrifice of your duplicate champions that you don't want to empower, that you don't want to use in Factions Guardians. It means that you have extras of insane amount of extras, and then they give you a choice of some good champions. The best ones, I would say, out of this list right here would have been Cernek as number 1, helps you get an unkillable team going for Clan Boss if you still don't have one for some reason, and you have all those dupes. And then I would say Tomb Lord now with his big boost and change. And then Foley, Fushan is really good. Molly Tankers for arena situations. Bottles also carrying you, and then Minaya. All of these champions are great, but I would have loved like a blind, not a blind, an unlimited amount of champions here. So all of the champions available. So me specifically, I don't have a Draco. I don't have a Xavia. Those champions that I don't have a Kymar. I can get them through this way. If this was offered to me currently right now, I don't have only Fushan and Foley. I don't know if I would sacrifice my dupes to get any of these two instead of doing the Faction Guardians or Champion Unbinding, but I would like to have a better choice when I have, you know, the majority of these. So give me something else if I do have these already. That would be nice.
Get using life tokens. Different legendaries will have a different price based on their power, and you only get each of them from the Token Trader once. With this feature, you'll be able to get rid of unwanted duplicates.
And by the way, I doubt that this will be a 1-to-1 ratio. So I doubt that you'll sacrifice one dupe to get a unique champion, I'm guessing.
And choose a champion you do want from the Token Trader list.
By the way, it cannot be unique.
We're
you
going
might
to be
want to get
making a variety of champions available from the Token Trader, including some you might have missed out on from Champion Fusion events if you weren't lucky enough to be playing Raid back then. Foley, Molly Tankard, Fushan, Minaya, and a few others will all be available. Oh, and it's the holiday season soon, so the very special, very jolly Sir Nicholas will be coming to town as well. That's about it for the video. Be sure to let us know how things go. Once you've had a chance to play with the new features, we'll be monitoring your feedback, as always. Until next time, happy raiding!
Right. So I do like the dupe system. It's like a triple dupe system right here. Let me just go here on the free-to-play account. Just did a 2-key. And like a good example of this is my free-to-play account, which can do a proper clan boss fight, gets a 2-key Ultra Nightmare. Has some dupes so far. So those dupes will be able to empower my free-to-play account. I have these dupes right here. So I have a Drexar and I have an Iron Brago. So it means my orcs will get a solid boost there for that first boost. The same thing with my demon spawns. In terms of my epics, I did have in the past more miscreated monsters on this account, but I did sacrifice them just as food because, well, I needed food champions and I didn't know that epics or rares could be used. But now that I know that, I could possibly use the dupe system to my own benefit. You know, even using champions here that you can feed will mean that you can boost your rare champions for demon spawn right here, or your demon yeah, this one's demon spawn, right? Yeah, demon spawn right here, and demon spawn from the Diabolus, which is looks like a lore, and again demon spawn boost. So I think the system is better than we expected, in the sense that they brought more answers instead of a single answer. So instead of bringing one thing to us to have available, such as the faction boost, they brought more for the whales also. They wanted to cater for the whales in terms of the champion sacrificing part, which gives a +1, +2, +3. Those Trandas with the +4, +5 or whatever on them are gonna be insane. Okay, in the arena in terms of damage, probably survivability will be crazy good as well. So a good example is Tranda, and I'm just calling her again and again because we have the 10x tomorrow starting with her, and players might be summoning just to get more copies of her, just so they can empower their main Tranda. And let's say a 10% boost here for each copy that you have, it's going to be 160 attack more for Tranda on her base, which is insane, okay, because she scales so well with attack. I don't know if it's going to be boosting critical damage. I would have loved if it boosts critical damage. If they add a kind of scaling system in the upgrades, I think it would have been better. So let's say a +1 gives a 5% crit, a +2 gives a 10% crit damage, a +3 gives a, I don't know, 10% attack, a +4 gives a 10% HP, and so on. That will be better. So it will be less overpowered than giving you a 10% boost to all of your stats for each plus that you have. But we'll see when that time comes. We don't know the exact date that the duplicate system is coming. What you guys think of the duplicate system, leave a comment down below, guys. I'll try to get as much information back from Plarium by asking Banana Jam, the community manager, for us, the content creators. Let's see if we can get some answers out of them. But in the meantime, leave the comments down below. We'll see how it goes, and I guess we'll make more videos in the future. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.